Hello, my name is Thomas Etheridge and I'm the lead sound recordist for the production of Sewer Rats. Because of the current climate that's going on around the world at the moment, and unfortunately the university is shut, I'm unable to do sound mixing or Foley work for this production. However, I wanted to talk through my responsibilities as a sound mixer and the work that I put in beforehand, and basically break down what I wanted to do and tell you guys today.
Right, I don't get it, mate. Shredder's supposed to be a criminal mastermind, right?
But he is. It just didn't translate onto the big screen.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense, you know, wanting to destroy the world just so we can rule it.
Leonardo found a way to stop him anyway.
Oh, Leonardo, you gotta be kidding me. Leonardo didn't do shit but wave his fucking swords about.
They're katanas.
Yeah, well, whatever they fucking are, not once did he actually stab a bad guy. I mean, he's meant to be a trained ninja, for fuck's sake.
What, you're gonna tell me Raphael is better?
Oh, screw you, Dustin. Donatello's the man. He's the one thinking up all the game plans that the rest of the turtles have to follow, you know? Concocting, preparing. He's all about strategy, you know? Same as me.
That's bullshit, Kurt. You're not about strategy. You never planned anything.
Yes, I have,
You're Raphael.
arsehole.
You're hot-headed. You don't think.
Okay, so what I first wanted to talk about was the actual filming of this shot. It was all done backwards, walking back. I was doing the boom operating, and then I set the levels and I let one of the runners basically hold the actual field recorder. In terms of the sound mixing, because this was one take, probably would have EQ'd out a bit of the sound, making the voices both a bit clearer. Foley work was actually one of the bigger trends for this scene, or one of the biggest sort of motivators for this scene, because you could really sort of create that nervous environment. So there has been added sort of background of a dog barking. I think what I would have done differently was actually got that bark myself. It wouldn't have been just found off the internet, and I would have focused on sort of layering up different dimensions, so potentially having an ambulance gun in the background, maybe have a bit more sort of comedy to it, to create a bit more unease by having potentially a helicopter going over the top. But it all just sort of builds into like that whole world of sort of crime, burglary.
Okay, you sure Tony took care of security?
Yeah, I'm sure.
He told you?
No, he texted me.
Okay, I know he's your sister's boyfriend, but there's just something I really don't like about him.
Dustin,
I know
just trust me. He's the best
You're
there
only
is.
saying that because you want to be part of his crew.
What do you think? It's my disguise.
Why do you need disguise? There aren't any cameras.
I'm planning for every event.
All right, where's my disguise?
I can't do all the thinking. You should handle that one, mate. Shit! Where's my crowbar?
You forgot your crowbar.
Shit, man, what are we gonna do? Yes! See, this is why we're such a good team, man. It's rodeo time.
Okay, so I think that's actually a good place to sort of stop it there. Both characters have got up to sort of the back of the shop. Luckily, the radio mics actually picked up sort of the zip of the bag, which is really important. One person I've been sort of taking inspiration from is Edgar Wright and his work with Julian Slater. So it's all about sort of emphasising the movements and almost sweetening the image. So that's something that I really wanted to carry through when I was doing the sound mixing and Foley work. So when the guy, the character in the orange hat picks up the crowbar, I really wanted to emphasise the fact that he's wielding this crowbar almost as if like it's some very important point when he rams it into the door. Obviously that couldn't have done because it was private property at the time, but that is something that I really wanted to make clear with the Foley, and that really enthusiastic smash sound of the glass. That was all something that I was looking into doing myself, just to try to get realistic, fresh and crisp sort of sound, as if obviously a real burglary added to the realism.
The last one? You've got to be kidding me, man.
No, I'm sorry, I just don't want to be a You know, a criminal. It's not my endgame.
Come on, man. You can't let me down like this. You're my Leonardo.
You said Leonardo was the crap one.
Who cares what I think?
Cut. This has to be the last one for me. I just needed a bit of cash and I'm going straight.
God, screw you, Dustin.
Okay, so the hardest thing about this shot was that both of the actors did have radio mics on and I was booming it. It was quite hard to get in there with the boom because there was so much lighting. The camera was at quite sort of weird angles, therefore I had to take quite unconventional approaches to sort of making sure that the boom was there but out of sight. And then obviously still getting clear sound. I think the one major problem which would have been an easy fix in the sound mix would have been EQing out the out sort of the big echo that is created from inside the cafe, and then potentially adjusting some of the levels when the characters are talking, as at some parts is quite quiet, but as I say, this would have been an easy fix.
I know someone.
For what?
With intel, I know someone.
Who?
Someone, but that doesn't matter.
Is it Tony? No, you can't say you know someone if I know them too.
I knew him before you.
No, I told you before, Cut, I don't like Tony.
Why does that matter?
Because we'd be breaking the law. I don't trust him, just...
So one thing that I really spoke about with Indiana, who's the director for this film, was sort of whose point of view were we going to try and emphasise, and who did we want the characters sort of emphatising with more. We spoke about this the most and we decided on Dustin. The way we're sort of going to do this is by basically having the sound sort of coming from his perspective as if he's going to hear it. So in a sense it would almost be where Dustin's almost the main pair of ears, and then Kurt, when he is talking, it will almost sound as if he's further away, so it would be obviously as if Dustin's hearing it, because if he heard his own voice it would be a lot different. The sort of classic bits of Foley I would have added in there, sort of the creaking of the toy when it gets placed down afterwards, and then also potentially layered in some atmos of basically the road outside and everything being quite quiet. Obviously that wouldn't have been too loud, but it just gives a bit of sort of background to the environment around them, and how the fact that they are low level criminals, they are still quite young, it sort of pushes that sense of they haven't got the most money in the world, so this is why they do it. So it's all those sort of different connotations about the characters.
Yeah, down in a minute.
Okay, so as you can tell, both of that that one take all was filmed without sound. Stupidly, this was actually a choice that I made myself because, hindsight it's stupid, but at the time, basically my thought process is that I wanted to purely do this on Foley and using sort of the soundscape that I got on the day, using the Roland. I basically wanted to prove to people and prove how I could have used these sort of technical uses to basically recreate the environment rather than just record it raw.
Just keep... Stop the car!
Kurt! What's that for?
Just get out and follow me.
Kurt, what the hell is going on?
Shut up and shine this over here.
Wait, Kurt, shit, I told you, no more robberies.
Okay, so for this it would be the same again. Would have made it a lot smoother with the fades, EQ'd out a bit of the echo. For this scene it's quite heavily done from Dustin's perspective. Therefore when Kurt goes into sort of the back of the boot, really want to sort of represent the heaviness of the bag, so a lot of clinks and clanks of sort of other sort of like tools that he's just randomly sort of chucked in there. And obviously when he's sort of running around the side of the car to then tell Dustin to get out, that would really be sort of him showing the weightiness of that bag and what else has he got in there. I think another thing, when Dustin drives in, just to sort of show the panic, I think I probably would have added in a wheel skid or like a car skid as it was going down when he was braking, just to emphasise the panic and sort of the confusion that's going on within the scene.
Met her in a club down in Old Soho, where you drink champagne and it tastes like Coca-Cola, C-O-L-A, cola. She walked up to me and she asked me to dance. I asked her her name and in a dark brown voice she said Lola, L-O-L-A, Lola, la 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 Lola. Well, I'm not the world's most physical guy, but when she squeezed me tight, she nearly broke my spine. Oh my Lola, la 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 Lola. Well, I'm not dumb, but I can't understand why she won't.
And then finally, all the music, as discussed, is meant to sort of override the scene. However, there would be Foley sort of that would be carried on throughout it. So when handcuffs were drawn, we sort of wanted to add in background sort of radio chatter. When the light gets dropped by Dustin, and bits and bobs of sort of Kurt making a fuss within sort of the back of the car, and basically all just sort of layered on top of each other, just to add that sort of penny drop moment that this could be the end of the pair's sort of firstly career, but potentially any sort of other career that goes on after this.